This is a Restless Christmas greeting. Welcome back to Restless here in Winsome Winter. It is Christmas time, Pastor Michael.
We've got our eggnog. We're sitting around a tree right now. Not really. We are just enjoying the holiday spirit. We both got ugly Christmas sweaters on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe we're going for.
That is the vibe we're going for. And as we decidedly come out on We Are Pro-Christmas to the shrieks and horror of the people who view themselves as the true Puritans, I would like to come on today. I didn't tell Pastor Michael what our Christmas greeting would involve. I would like to come on and I would like to have us tell everyone to be more like Santa Claus.
Wow. All right. More like Santa Claus.
So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Pastor Michael, now, admittedly, that is a bit of a clickbaity way to put this.
I feel like that's a way of saying, I wish everyone didn't exist. Is that is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is I just wish in the Christian church we had more leaders and more people like Saint Nicholas of Myra.
The real Saint Nick.
The real Saint Nick. And here's why. I was just reflecting on this the other day. So when you become young, restless, and reformed, what do you learn, probably from Mark Driscoll, about good old Saint Nicholas of Myra?
You right away learned that he went and he slapped Arius in the face. That is what all of us know him for. That's what we are regularly discuss. This is how we remember Saint Nick.
Exactly. And I actually think it'd be it's a great t-shirt idea. You know, one of the parts of that story that I don't know is as widely shared is that he was actually censured for that action. But right, he is.
Which, by the way, would be great for us YRR young men to have heard.
yeah, exactly. That they weren't just, the Council of Nicaea wasn't just totally cool.
Yeah, yes.
With that. And obviously there is a lot of, as we have to say, we really should say with people like, especially people who are called saints from that time period, the amount of fact and fiction is pretty much impossible for us to differentiate. So as much as we want to believe he slapped or hit Arius in the face, there is a chance that's like saying there's flying reindeer with the Saint Nicholas of today. But I think here are the things I want us to potentially learn from this figure, at least what we kind of know about him, right? We do know that, right, he was likely present. Again, I'm speaking about the kind of accepted history. So please don't make me have say every sentence like qualified, like maybe, so-called, because
accepted church tradition.
Exactly. That's what we're doing. That he was at Nicaea and he was infuriated about the way his Lord was being denigrated by Arius and the Arians, right? And that obviously the idea is that he was so mad at one of their statements that he slapped Arius because he needed to stop him from speaking. And I think that is a part of what we need leaders to be. We do need Christian leaders who will stand and defend Christ, the truth of God, like St. Nicholas did.
Who love the Lord, and out of that deep love for the Lord are willing to stand upon the truth.
Right. And take action and be bold. But what is the thing, Pastor Michael, you learn about St. Nicholas when you were a kid, maybe, and you learn, like, where did the Santa Claus myths come from?
So you're talking about the St. Nick that climbs down chimneys, that leaves gifts for everybody?
Mm-hmm. And do you know what historical facts that myth was built off of and why he's called Saint Nick?
Well, here is the interesting thing. I have learned that in the past. In fact, I believe I've learned it from you and maybe others with you. And I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Great.
so you have to enlighten me and the whole podcast.
Yeah, Saint Nicholas was the reason our Santa Claus has Saint Nick, right? He climbs down chimneys, gives gifts, right? Obviously, there's all that lore, but it's based off the idea in honoring of Saint Nicholas's apparent, again, supposed accepted church history, love and care for the poor in the part of Turkey that he lived in, that he would leave fruit for children, right? When they had their stockings were left out to dry because they needed them each day. He, for the most poor children, would leave fruit or money so that they could eat every day.
Yeah.
And so that is when I was a kid, right? And you kind of start asking, where did Santa Claus come from? That's the story you hear about St. Nicholas. And you don't hear about the St. Nicholas who was punching heretics.
Yes.
And here's what I'm like, this Christmas, it would be great if we learned one thing from Santa Claus. Let's put those two things together.
Yeah.
This is a thing that I think in many of our lives, I have felt too, that we have Christians who tend towards the polemic, the argumentative, the standing on truth. And then we have Christians who say we need to love and care for the poor. We need to protect those who need protecting. And really, truly, in the example, most of all, the most important thing of any celebration of the Nativity is of course, of Christ. Not St. Nicholas, not any of that. But Christ brings those things together.
Yeah.
Christ is the man who loved and hugged children and will return with a sword. And I just think that we bifurcate those things so radically sometimes that it is to our detriment and to our detriment in our growth of Christian piety. It's fine. I love go be a Twitter warrior, but also go help someone in need, right? That it's in my mind, if I'm just reflecting this season on the tragedy of how those things are often or maybe, it's not that they're even pitted against each other. It's, and I think most people would say, well, it's fine for some people to have gifts in one and not the other. And I agree with that. Of course, your temperament, your gifting might be different, but what I think often comes across is that a person thinks, well, if I'm gifted as a bold polemicist kind of person, you're not going to be the kind of person who can care for the poor. And I care for the poor. I love people. So that means I'm not supposed to be the denouncing of Arianism kind of person.
Truth guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're right. I love the idea. Let's bring these things together. This is the Christmas spirit, right?
This is the Christmas spirit.
Bringing these two things together and seeking really just to be more like Christ in that way. I love it. What a great holiday greeting from the Restless podcast. So, maybe as you gather around your pagan evergreen, oh, wait. Maybe as you enjoy this holiday season, you'll think a little bit more of Saint Nick that way.
With no images of the second person to be seen. Second person of the Trinity.
We're keeping our Reformed bona fides here for Christmas.
Yeah.
At the Restless podcast, but really, truly from our homes, from the home of the Restless podcast, wherever it may be at any one time, we really do hope that you and your family have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.